वाहिगुरु साहिब जियो। हम मैले तुम उजल करते, हम निर्गुण तू दाता। हम मैले तुम उजल करते, हम निर्गुण तू दाता। हम मूरख तुम चतुर सियाणे, तू सर्व कला का ज्ञाता। माधो हम ऐसे तू ऐसा, हम पापी तुम पाप खंडन, नीको ठाकुर देसा। तुम सब साजे साज निवाजे, जियो पिंड दे प्राणा। निर्गुणियारे गुण नहीं कोई, तुम दान देहो मेहरबाना। तुम करहो भला हम भलो ना जान है, तुम सदा सदा दयाला। तुम सुखदाई पुरख विधाते, तुम राखो अपने बाला। तुम सुखदाई पुरख विधाते, तुम सुखदाई पुरख विधाते, तुम राखो अपने बाला। तुम निधान अटाल सुल्तान, तुम निधान अटाल सुल्तान। जी जंत सब जाचै, कहो नानक हम एह हवाला। राख संतन कै पाछै, कहो नानक हम एह हवाला। राख संतन कै पाछै। सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु साहिब जियो। सोरठ महला पंजवां। जित पार ब्रह्म चित आया, सो घर दीए विसाया। So ਧੰਨ Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah blessed us with this Hukamnama in Sorat Rag. Maharaj Sahib Ji saying, Jit Par Brahm Chit Aya. Who has been able to focus on Akal Purkh Vaheguru Jit Par Brahm. Par Brahm referring to Vaheguru Chit Aya. Chit we can refer to as being those that have been able to focus on Vaheguru Sahib Ji. Those that have Prasad Maharaj Sahib Ji within their Chit. Maharaj Ji saying, so kar referring to our hearts within ourselves, so kar within the house of our heart. Maharaj Ji saying, so kar diya vasaya. Diya here is a word referring to Vaheguru again. So it's another attribute of Vaheguru Ji. And Diya is referring to Vaheguru in the sense of Vaheguru being full of compassion and always kind to us. Even though we may not be able to see it, but Vaheguru Ji is always forever kind. And Maharaj is saying, so kar diya vasaya. And within those hearts, he vases there. He has a place, he lives within those hearts. Jana ne ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਚਿੱਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਸਾ ਲਿਆ. ਦਿਯ ਵਸਾਇਆ. So if he is full of compassion and he's within our hearts, that means that our hearts will be full of compassion. And the first thing is that if we look at Naam in two folds, there's Naam where we jap Naam, but Naam doesn't finish there at Japana. A lot of times you'll hear Maharaj referring to Naam as no. There's loads of places in Gurbani where Maharaj refers to Naam as no. So there's one thing with Japana and there's reciting his name, but then there's no the other fold of japana. Once that starts, when Vaheguru starts to come and sit within inside of us, when it turns into Simran, Simran meaning when we're actually thinking of Vaheguru and not just saying a word. And no means that oda jada sabaya, Vaheguru's attributes come and start sitting inside of us. And that's what Naam is, that's where Naam Japana takes us to. So reciting him takes us that his attributes start to come and sit inside of us. So whatever Vaheguru is, starts to come and sit inside of us. So that's the first two pangthiyan of this Hukamnama. And I'm just going to finish off what we started 2 weeks ago about Asuda Mahina. I'm just going to look at the first half of the first pangti. So Maharaj says, Asun Prem Umahara. Umahara means, we went through last week, Umahara means whose hearts are overwhelmed with Vaheguruji's love. So if we look at those bhagats within the Bani, whose hearts were overwhelmed with Vaheguruji's love. And if you look at Bhagat Kabir Ji says, Vidya na pado. Vidya is talking about knowledgeable books. And it says, I don't get into reading these books full of knowledge. And they said the reason why some people are reading these books full of knowledge are just to have debates. And this is the path I'm on. This is I'm not interested in sitting down and debating. And this says Vidya na pado, baad nahi janu. And this is baad means debating. And you've heard the word vaad vivad. And this says I'm not interested in sitting here and challenging people about what I believe about God and what you believe about God. And this is baad nahi janu. This is I don't know about these debates. I don't want to get involved. This is all I know is that I know how to sing his praises. That's all I'm interested in doing. Har gun katha sonata baurano. That's the second bhakti. Bhakti Kabir Ji says, Har gun katha. All I want to know is, I don't want to get into these debates about God. This is Har gun kathat. Kathat means to say. I just want to say his praises. Har gun kathat sonat. And I want to do it with so much attention that I listen to his praises. Har gun kathat sonat baurano. And this is when I do this, I go mad and I go crazy doing this. Baurano means going mad, going crazy. This is whilst I'm doing this, whilst I'm singing his praises, Har gun kathat sonat baurano. This is like I'm going mad. And this is when you do this, don't expect the world to understand you. This is what will happen is when you start walking on this path. When all the time and all you can think of is praising Vaheguru. This is Mere Baba. And they're referring here to Mere Baba as the world. So they're calling out to the world and saying, Mere Baba, Ma Baurana. This is, I admit. They said, I don't need anyone else to tell me. He said, I'll get on the rooftop and I'll tell the world myself. So this is Asunu Prem Umahara. So those hearts that are overwhelmed with love for Vaheguruji. And Bhakti Kabir Ji is telling that story about themselves. So not from a third person. So they said, Mere Baba, Ma Baurana. They said, yes, I admit. I'm mad. Sab khalak siyani. And said the world, khalak means the people of the world. Sab khalak siyani. This says, yes, they are wise. Sab khalak siyani ma baurana. He says, I admit. This says, it's me that's crazy. He said, ma bigreo. He says, ma bigr gaya. You know, when somebody goes off the rails. Because this is how the world sees people that truly give themselves to Vaheguruji. And nobody, there's hardly anybody. There's some people that are on this path halfway. But those people that don't look back and give themselves completely, this is how the world will see them. They'll say, "It's a bigger gaya." That he's actually gone off the rails. And Kabirji says, look, save yourself, I'll say it myself. This is ma bigriyo. This is bigriyo mat, ma bigriyo, bigre mat aura. This make sure you don't come by me. Go karke tusi bhi bigड़ jana. Bhakt Kabirji said. He says, if you come close to me, if you do sangat with me, मैं बिगड़ो बिगड़े मत औरा कहते दूसरे ने भी बिगड़ जाना. Says other people will lose the plot like me as well because they're saying it about themselves. मैं baba मैं बौरा. Says I am crazy. And this is that path. When somebody gives themselves completely to Vaheguru, there isn't going to be a lot of people that actually understand you. And Gurbani is saying don't expect them to, because that's how it's always been. If somebody didn't understand Bhakti Kabirji 500-600 years ago, and that was that time when there was more dharam, and we can't expect that to happen now. So the vichar that we've started on the Japji Sahib, we was talking about the Vaheguru Nadi. So if you look at Asun Prem Umahara, that those hearts that are overwhelmed with love, so that was Bhakt Kabir Ji in their own Bani, telling about themselves, but Guru Nanak Dev Ji told about themselves as well in their own Gurbani. So when Guru Nanak Pacha came out the Vaheguru Nadi, because many people thought that Guru Nanak Pacha had actually died, so there were some that thought that Guru Nanak Pacha got lost, and some thought that Guru Nanak Pacha isn't going to return now. So there's many there. So when Guru Nanak Pacha did return, it was a shock to some people because they thought it's impossible to return from being in a lake for 3 days. So it's nobody's ever heard of that happening before. So when Guru Nanak Dev Ji did come back, and you know of that time there was villagers and a lot of people were quite poor, they were quite innocent. So when Guru Nanak Pacha did come, a lot of people looked at Guru Nanak Dev Ji and went and screamed and said, "Oh, look, there's a ghost." They said, "He can't be Guru Nanak because he's dead." And this is what some of the people were saying. So some people looked at Guru Nanak Dev Ji and they said, "Look, there's a ghost because Guru Nanak Dev Ji must be dead." So everybody loads of people got scared. And then some, they looked at Guru Nanak Dev Ji because Guru Nanak Dev Ji was talking to them. Guru Nanak Dev Ji was talking very odd. They weren't the same as when they went, before they went. Their eyes were in this nasha. It had seemed as if they were completely intoxicated in this naam. Well, they didn't know that they were intoxicated in naam, but they just thought that something's happened to him. So they said that some just thought he's become like a Bhoot. And then Guru Nanak Dev Ji tell about this in their own Gurbani. And they say, when I came from the Vaheguru Nadi, they said many people looked at me and said, and this is what people said to me, they said, "Koi aake putana." Some people called me a ghost, Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, because they thought I was dead and thought someone from the dead's returned. They said, "Koi aake putana ko kahe betala." And they said, some people called me a betala. Betala means that person, tal means to be within rhythm. Betal means to be out of rhythm. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, when I came out the Vaheguru Nadi, people couldn't understand me because it's the same state that Bhakt Kabir Ji is talking about. So they said some people called me Betala, that he's out of rhythm. Out of rhythm from what? From the rest of the world. He's not following what everybody else is saying. And at that time, Guru Nanak Dev Ji did something very revolutionary. And of that time, there was a Hindu Pandit of that time, during Guru Nanak Dev Ji's time. All he said was that he said Muslims are great and so are Hindus. That's all he said. So he said, he didn't say anything bad about anyone. All he said is, just like Muslims are great, he goes, so are Hindus. And for that he was arrested and tortured by Sikandar Lodi, who was the emperor at that time. So to speak out the truth, to even say something what Guru Nanak Dev Ji was saying, Guru Nanak Dev Ji came out in the Vaheguru Nadi, they didn't say anything like that. They said there is no Hindu and there is no Musliman. Because when you lose yourself, when you go so deep within your own self and you realize, Vaheguru Ji, there's no more labels left. It says within Jap Sahib as well, Namastas Amajbe. Amajbe means that Vaheguru isn't labelled with a religion. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji now was speaking of the message of truth. Sach ki Bani Nanak Akhe. Sach sunaisi Sach ki bela. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji now was speaking of the truth, and they said there's no Musliman and there's no Hindu. And people got afraid. They thought there's a Pandit that he's got arrested. All he said was that Hindus are great just as much as Muslims. So they says, oh my God, Betal. It goes, he's gone out of rhythm from the rest of the world. People weren't going to understand Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And that's why Guru Amar Das Ji said, Bhagta ki chal nirali. Nirali means separate from the rest of the world. And that's why people will never understand a Bhagat. That's why Guru Bani says, Bhagta taise sariya jod kade na aya. It says the Bhagats and the people of the world, jod kade na aya. Jod means like to walk together. Jodna aaps vich. So what Guru Sahib is trying to say to us is that it's very difficult for somebody to understand a Bhagat, because a lot of people are walking the opposite way to Vaheguru Ji. The reason we're given this birth is to go back home. Home is Vaheguru. And a lot of people are actually walking the opposite way from him instead of going back to Vaheguru. So some people, so Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, so we're talking about Asun Prem Umahara, who was overwhelmed with love. Bhakt Kabir Ji spoke about themselves, Guru Nanak Dev Ji spoke about themselves. They says, Koi aakhe putna ko kahe betala, koi aakhe admi nanak bechara. And they said, some just called me a mere mortal. Koi aakhe admi nanak bechara. This is, oh poor Nanak. Look, he's gone a bit mad. I think something must have happened to him when he was in the water. These are the kind of things that people were saying. They said when Guru Nanak Pacha was in the Vaheguru Nadi, koi kuch lad gaya hona. Some people were saying, कहते कोई ना कोई जानवर ने इन्होंने मतलब कुछ करता होना है उत्थे नदी दे विच, and that's why ये गल्लां इहो जी पुट्ठियां जी करदा इत्थे हुण आके, because भगता तैसा सारिया जोड़ कदे ना आया, भगता की चाल नराली. So nobody's going to ever understand it. Huh? And then Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, look, don't worry, I'll tell you the state I'm in. Say, koi aakhe putra ko kahe betala, koi aakhe admi nanak bechara. He said, Paya devana sahaka, nanak baurana. They've used the same word as Bhakt Kabir Ji did. Bhakt Kabir Ji said about themselves, mere baba, main baura. Sab khalak siyani main baura. They said, I'm crazy. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji said the same thing about themselves. They said, Paya devana. Devana means when you've gone insane in love for somebody. No? And you'll hear this word like divana. There's probably even films out there called similar to divana and stuff, because they're talking about when somebody's gone crazy for someone and they're not bothered about the rest of the world and they'll do anything. And this is the same word Guru Nanak Dev Ji is using about themselves for what they're saying, that truth that they found when they were in the Vaheguru Nadi. It's not that Guru Nanak Dev Ji didn't have that truth before. It's what we've been saying a couple of weeks ago, that Guru Nanak Dev Ji created this big impact so that the world wakes up. The Vaheguru Nadi was a big impact, so people would have been talking about it all over the Sultanpur, and it would have spread so many places. So then Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Paya devana sahaka. Saha comes from a word Shah, Shah meaning king. And they're referring to the king being Vaheguru. So in the Shabad that we just read out first, when we started, there's a pangthi, Tum nidhan atal sultan. So over here, Guru Sahib refers to Vaheguru as a king as well. Sultan means king as well. What type of king is Vaheguru though? Tum nidhan, that he is the treasurer. Like, the kings of this world, they still have to take things from somewhere else. They still have to ask Vaheguru when they want something. But he is the treasurer. Vaheguru is Tum nidhan atal sultan. But what type of king is Vaheguru? Atal, unhe talana nahi kadi. Have you heard the saying when somebody says Sama tal gaya, means the time has passed, that time has now passed. Vaheguru is never going to pass. He is always going to be. He is atal, unhe rehna hi hai har samay. He will always be. But the kings of this world, eh bhupat sab divas char ke jhoothe kart divaja. Gurbani says the kings of this world, eh bhupat. Bhupat means king. This word comes in as Savaiye. So if you listen out tomorrow when you read Savaiye in the morning, you have to wear prasad Savaiye. So Guru Sahib says, eh bhupat sab, all the kings of this world, eh bhupat sab divas char ke. They're only here for 4 days. 4 days means only here for a short while. Jhoothe kart divaja. All the divaja means show. Everything they do is jhoot, is false, because it's not going to last. Tum nidhan atal sultan. But he's a king that is always going to remain. Ji jant sab jache. And everyone that he has created, so all the humans, ji jant sab jache, are beggars at his door. Jache means beggars. So Guru Nanak Pacha is saying, Paya devana sahaka, Nanak baurana. He said, Nanak, referring to themselves, they says, yes, I am mad. He says, I'm gone mad for Vaheguru Ji. Yeah? And then they said that whoever goes mad for Vaheguru, they will start speaking the words of the truth, which people of the world are going to find difficult to understand and relate to. Yeah? And they said, Badshah Ji said, that don't expect to be understood, because a lot of people, they live in that thought, and they waste a lot of energy in that thought. The other thing I want to look at is from that half of pangthi, asun prem umahra, those that are overwhelmed with love. I just want to look at the concept of love within Gurbani, because this can then relate to a topic that we discussed in Wales last week, about falling in love. People were talking about falling in love with their partners, or finding a partner and falling in love with that partner before they got married. So we want to look at the concept of love within Gurbani. And there's a word in Jap Sahib. Guru Sahib says, Namastang Mahante, Namastang Anante, Namast Sat Rage, Namastang Suhage. So that comes in Jap Sahib. And the word that we want to concentrate on is Namast Sat, when Guru Sahib says, bow down to Vaheguru, that Vaheguru who is Rage. The word Rage has many meanings, but over here, Rage is talking about Vaheguru is the form of love. Rage here means Vaheguru is the form of love. What does Rage mean? What it's trying to say is that Vaheguru Ji, it's not that Vaheguru Ji has love for such and such. It's saying that Vaheguru Subha, nature, is of love. You know, like somebody says that that person's nature is of anger. Somebody says that person's nature is of anger. Now he's got a short fuse. But Vaheguru, just like somebody says that about people that have got a nature of being angry, Vaheguru has got a nature of being rage, which means Vaheguru's nature is of love. It's not that he finds someone to love, he just is love. So to explain that, it's you know like if somebody lights a fire here, that fire has got a sabah, that fire has got a nature, it's going to give everybody heat. So it doesn't matter whether Jivan comes, whether Harjab comes, it's not going to be different for Jivan or Harjab. It's not that it's going to give out cold to Jivan and then it's going to give out warmth to Harjab. It's Oda Sabai Ekya, and it's going to give out warmth to both, heat to both, because that's what fire is. And that's what Vaheguru Ji is. Vaheguru just is love. Namast Sat Rage. And again, there's two folds to Jap Sahib as well. There's one when you first start reading Jap Sahib, because everybody's going to start at just reading. You don't have to worry about understanding it. In the beginning, you might not even know how to pronounce it properly. You just read it and then you learn how to pronounce. And then eventually, you learn a little bit about what it means. But then, what we're supposed to do with it is to say, this is Vaheguru, and what am I like? You know, and that's the shabd that we recited in the beginning. Madho, hum aise, tu aisa, I'm like this, I'm full of mal, and you are like this, you are completely immaculate. But so what we've got to start looking at is, so Jap Sahib, oh Vaheguru Ji, if you are Rage, if you are your Sabha, your nature is love. And if anybody wants to experience that, they just go towards Vaheguru and they'll feel love. Doesn't matter who goes. So what we've got to then eventually start doing is, with Jap Sahib, is to say, if Vaheguru is like this, what am I like? And if I am different to what Jap Sahib is saying about what Vaheguru Ji is, then that means I can't merge with Vaheguru. Because har jan aisa chahiye, jaisa har hi hoye. Because if we are any different to him, then we can't merge with him. We can only merge with him if we start becoming what Jap Sahib is saying about what Vaheguru Ji is. So then, Badshah says, Namast Sat Rage Namastang Suhage. The word Suhage is beautiful. Suhage is referring to, it's taken from the word Suhag. With the Jap Sahib, each word's got about 4 to 5 different meanings, each word. We're just going to look at one. Suhage, it's referring to the word Suhag. Suhag means when a male is single. It's talking about when a male is single and fresh and new. and it's ready to get married. So male ready to get married, not married yet, single. So it's referring to Vaheguru being unmarried. And to understand this, Bhagat Kabir ji said, Ram Rai syo pavar leho. Bhagat Kabir ji said, Ram Rai means, referring to Vaheguru again, Rai means king. So Ram Rai syo pavar leho. Pavar means to take fere. Bhagat Kabir ji says, I took vows with Vaheguru. I got married to Vaheguru. Atam tehe rang rati. He says, I was able to get married to Vaheguru because Atam, my mind, if the word Atam comes without a kanna, Atma is referring to our soul. If it comes without the kanna, not all the time, but you've got to look at the pangthi. If it comes without the kanna, if it comes as Atam, it's most of the time it's referring to our mind. It's very important to understand. Why? Because when you look at the English translation, even when it comes up as Atam, it's translated as soul, but it throws the Arth out. It won't make sense. Guru Sahib saying, Atam tehe rang rati. Bhagat Kabir ji said, because my mind, tehe rang rati, was imbued in the colour of love for Vaheguru, I was able to get married to Vaheguru. Ram Rai syo pavar. Pavar is saying fere leho. I took fere with Vaheguru. And how does it refer to Sohage? Namastang Sohage. That Vaheguru ji, Bhagat Kabir ji is probably not the first one to do this with Vaheguru, to get married to Vaheguru. Others have as well. There's been other Bhagats. Sohage means that doesn't matter who goes to Vaheguru, he is always going to feel like a new Sahag that he's never married before. He's always going to feel new. Sahib, mera, neeth, nava. So when Bhagat Kabir ji went to get married to Vaheguru, he weren't going to feel to Bhagat Kabir ji that Vaheguru was married before. And, so I'm second on the list. Vaheguru is forever going to feel new. Is Sohag, yeah. So whoever goes, even if somebody went after Bhagat Kabir ji, is going to feel that Vaheguru is new. Is Sohag. So Gurbani, it's got so much raz in it, so much depth in it. But like I said, it might be translated by many different ways by other people. So if we think about, because we were talking about marriages last week, that if we do an ardas to Satguru Ji, that Vaheguru Ji, that my aim of life, Vaheguru, I may not be doing this, I may be stuck, but what I want to do is, I want to be close to you. So whatever you do to me in my life, do that to me, what can help me to become close to you. If you do ardas to Vaheguru Ji, then what Vaheguru Ji will do is, they'll help you to find that type of partner, for those that are looking for partners, that will help you to get closer to Vaheguru. But that's got to be your intention. If our intention is that I want this, Vaheguru, if Vaheguru is just love, it's not based on a condition, it's not based on I want this, he just is that. People talk about prem means pare main, when there's no me in there. So if our intention is correct, to say, Vaheguru Ji, I want to be close to you, then he will put those people in our life that will help us. But it may not seem right to us, because we can't see, again in the shabd that we read out first, tum karho pala, he does pala, he does good for us. Tum karho pala, hum palo na jaan hai. I might not be able to see that good. Hum palo na jaan hai. मैं पछाणिया नहीं जेड़ा तू भला किता मेरे वास्ते, पर है भला कि साचा साहिब sad meherban, he is forever kind. All it is that we can't see the pala that's being done. So if we do that ardas, that Vaheguru Ji, that I want to just walk towards you, then he will give us that person that will help us do that. But it might not be in the way we think, but they will be helping us, because we've got to have that much faith on Vaheguru Ji. It was like when, as the story goes, as like when Christ was walking across the ocean, and they say he was walking on the actual ocean. And when he's one of his followers, he looked at that and he thought that if Christ is doing it, we've got to be able to do this too. And soon as he had that faith, he put his first foot onto the ocean and he didn't drown. And his foot stayed on top of the ocean. But as soon as he's about to put about to put his second foot down, he had a thought. He thought that, say if I drown. And that second foot when he put down, he actually drowned. But his first foot didn't, because his first foot was done with complete faith. When we do ardas, that's how much faith we've got to have for Vaheguru. We can't have even a little bit of doubt, because that first foot allowed him to put his foot on top of water. The second foot was just a slight doubt, and that was it. He went down. So sometimes our intention might change. For example, after we get married, our intention might not remain that Vaheguru is our focus. That intention might change to I want this, that I want this. But love means that your love is unconditional. That love is just love. If there is a condition on love, then it is not love. Then it's a bargain. Then it's tit for tat. So you're trying to then give something for exchange. But if you become the form of love, and you trust Vaheguru, and then it can't go wrong. And people talk about the concept of ek jot doi murti tan per kahiye soe. What does it mean to become ek jot? Ek jot is to become one. If one is incomplete, if one is drowning in anger, but the other has the quality of calmness. It's not to say when that person rages in anger, the other person gets a tili, gets a match, and then burns them more, and then there's fireworks. It's when they're able to cover that gap, and there's no gaps, and they become one. They're able to cover the other's anger with their calmness. That's ek jot, doi murti, tan per kahiye soe. Those are called a husband and wife. And just to clear that concept of people saying that, some Amritaris even have that thought to say to fall in love first and then get married with somebody else. Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, Par istri se nehe lagave, Gobind Singh beh sikh na pave. It says, if you have, we can translate nehe to love. If you have love for a prai istri means anybody else other than your wife. So if you've not taken fere yet, she's not your wife. Par istri se nehe lagave, Gobind Singh beh sikh na pave. Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, that sekh isn't pleasing to me. So then these concepts have got to be cleared within Gurbani. When Guru Gobind Singh Ji was young, I'm going to finish off with this. When Guru Gobind Singh Ji was very young, because they were only 9 years old, and Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji gave Shahidi, so they must have been younger than 9 years old. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji had a conversation with Guru Gobind Singh Ji. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji writes about this within Dasam Granth, within their own Bani, about this conversation that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji had with them. And they said, sudh jab dhari, sudh ham jab dhari. They said, when? Sudh means jadon main menu hosh jadon ai. And they said, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji had a conversation with me. Bachan gur de hamare, subte jab ham dhari, bachan gur de hamare. He said, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji exchanged a bachan with me. And this is Pood eh pran tohe. He said, keep this promise with you. This is what Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji said to Guru Gobind Singh Ji. He says, Pood eh pran tohe. He said, make this promise until when? Pran jab lag kat thare. Until you've got breath in this body. And that promise is that Nij nari ke sang nehe tum nit badaiyo ho. This says with your own wife, Nij nari, Nij means your own. Nij nari ke sang nehe. Sang means with. Nehe means love. So you can translate that love of however whatever context, only Guru knows in which context they were talking about. But so they said, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji said, Sudh jabte tum tari, bachan gur de hamare. This is Poot eh pran tohe, that Pran jab lag kat thare, nij nari ke sang nehe tum nit badaiyo ho. It says you can have as much badai ho, jinna marji to pyar kariye apne with your own wife. And it says, but par nari ki sej, this is but the bed of another, par nari ki sej, pool supne hu na jayo. This is don't even dream, not even within your dreams, go to a bed of another woman. So another thing to clear up, which is very important, when this is translated par nari, when people translate par nari, if you look at the English translation, it will be translated to another man's wife. That kind of sometimes, well, some people can translate that and can say, well, then it's okay to look at a woman that is single. So if you look at that translation, it's very loosely translated. If you look at now, wherever it says par nari, and you look at the translation, it will say another man's wife. So it's okay to look at someone that's single. No? That doesn't make sense. So the way that should be translated is par nari, any other woman other than your own wife. So if you're not married, nobody. No? So if you're not married, it means nobody par nari ki sej, you don't go to a bed of another woman, full stop. It doesn't matter whether she's somebody else's wife, whether you're married and she's single, it doesn't matter what, in which context. It just means, par nari means anybody else other than your own wife. So some of these little translations can put us off a bit and throw us out here and there. It's very important that we get them right. So whoever's sitting here as well, if this conversation ever comes up, always translate par nari meaning to anyone other than your own wife. If you're single, par nari for anybody that's single means any other woman. Only until you take the fihre, only then it becomes a nij nari, like Guru Sahib says, nij nari ke sang neh tum nit badai ho. And then Guru Sahib says there's no rok tok for you to how much love you spread with your own wife. Okay, so these things are very important, and the problem why there's controversy about them is because people don't speak about these things. As soon as it comes to speaking about anything to do with Gam, look, people speak about anger, they'll do hour lectures on anger. No? So there's a lot of help out there for anger. People do hour lectures for greed. And so there's a lot of people will know how to tackle these things. But when it comes to Gam, it's the thing that needs to be spoke about the most, because it's what's troubling people the most, because even Amritdharis are struggling with this, and it's the least spoke about subject. The one that people are struggling with the most, it's the least spoke about. For some reason, people shy away from talking about it. You know, when Bhai Gurdas Ji said so much about it as well, Eka nari jati hoy. They said, as long as you've got just one wife, you've just got one woman in your life, Eka nari jati hoy, you're just as good as a celibate monk. Eka nari jati hoy, par nari ti bhain vikhane, dekh paraiyan changiyan mama bhaina tiyan jane. You know, so even in the Rahatname, it's all there, par beti ko beti jane, par istri ko maat vikhane. So there's so much that's said about it, there's so little that is spoke about it. Within Gurbani as well, within Asa Divar, there's so much that spoke about it. That Akhi Sutak Vekhana Partreya Partan Rupa. Akhi Sutak Vekhana, you are making your eyes impure. Akhi Sutak Vekhana Partreya. Partreya, Treya means a woman. Par again is translated on that English there to another man's wife, when that doesn't make sense. Because that can only be translated to, like I said, anyone else other than your own wife. If you're single, any other woman, full stop. You know, so these are things very important for us to understand, and the concept of par nari within Gurbani. So, Pulla Chukka Maaf, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa.